Hi, good evening, everyone. We'll start the session now. So, first, we discussed about the last class introduction to automation testing. Right, my introduction to automation testing, where we discussed here. So, what is software testing? Briefly, I will go into the topic for software testing. We know it is a combination of verification and validation. We are going to cover. When the software testing performed, different two ways it is. The types of software testing. So one is called manual testing. The second one is called automation testing. One is called manual testing. The other one is the automation testing. Right. Now, what is manual testing? Without using any automation tool, test engineer directly interact with application to verify actual behavior while performing operations is called manual testing. Without using any automation tool, test engineer directly interact with application to verify actual behavior while performing operations is called manual testing.
Sir,
Okay.
yesterday you gave introduction.
Yes. Briefly, I will go into this one.
Okay.
Automation testing. So, whereas automating human activities in order to validate application is called automation testing. So advantage of manual testing, simple, easy to perform. Disadvantage of manual testing, time consuming, expensive. So inconsistency, manual testing, inconsistency, lack of reliability, time consuming is there. Automation testing, advantage, it is faster to execute, more consistency, more reliability. Automation test scripts are reusable and repeatable. But disadvantage of the automation testing is so upfront investment is required. Skilled automation testers are required. Some environments are not possible to automate. That's the limitations we have. Next one here. Project selection criteria for automation testing. Project selection criteria for automation testing. How we can decide it is this project we can go for automation testing or not. In general, the size of the project will be considered. So, application require resource, more resource required. Then more time taking scenarios are there. Application environment supporting for automation testing. Okay, client accepted in terms of budget. So these are the various factors they have to consider to decide whether project is suitable or not for automation testing. Okay. Then tool selection criteria. How to decide? First, they have to see that return on investment. That means how much budget allocated for testing. In that budget, can we go for the commercial tool or non-commercial tool? Then usability of the tool. Is it easy to develop the automation test script? Is it easy to execute or not? After execution, is it going to provide the test result in the desired format or not? These things they have to check. The next thing, automation testing team activities. Majorly tool selection, scenario selection, define framework, develop automation test script, define framework, then develop automation test script. After you develop the automation test script, then we can go for the execution, execution of script, effect reporting. Then what finally we have to go for the maintenance of automation test script, like updating. These things we have to do. Right. The other activities. Then scenarios which are preferred for automation testing. In general, the scenarios which are more repeatable and complex to perform manually, those kind of scenarios we can go for the automation testing. So these are the things we discussed. Now, which tool we are working with? Selenium. When you talk about the Selenium, today we are going to see introduction to the Selenium. So when you talk about Selenium, where we are going to, Selenium is free tool, a non-commercial tool. So free tool or non-commercial tool. Second point saying that it is an open source tool. So what is the difference if I go like this? Selenium is a free tool and open source. Open source means no? So the different meaning is the free tool to the open source. So free tool means no need to pay any amount. Directly we can download, we can use it is. But coming to the open source means the code is available. If anyone want to customize the features of the Selenium, they will welcome it is. They will going to welcome. This is what we are going to call open source. Code will be given. Commercial tool, they want to give the code. Okay. It is a free tool. It is an open source tool. So what purpose we are going to use Selenium? What type of testing we can do with help of the Selenium? Using Selenium, we can perform the functionality and regression testing. We can perform functionality and regression testing. Whereas it supports only web-based applications to automate. There is a browser automation tool. It supports only web-based applications. The browser automation tool. Okay. So what browser supports here? So using Selenium, we can go for the cross-browser testing or multiple browsers. It supports like a Chrome browser, Firefox browser, Edge browser, IE browser, Opera browser, and Safari browser. These are the browsers where it is going to support. Now, multiple operating systems also it will support, such as Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, where it is going to support. Right. Possible like this. Next point. So with extension of the, so what type of languages we can use Selenium is to develop the automation script. Selenium support the multiple languages such as Java, Python, Ruby, C Sharp, JavaScript. These are the things where it is going to support. Okay. So either one you can use it is, but in general, so Selenium with the Java we are going to prefer. If we want to go for the mobile applications testing, we have to go for the Selenium with the Appium. Both we have to use. With the combination Appium, another tool it is. Use Selenium with the Appium tool, we can go for the mobile application testing. Selenium is a suite of tools. That means different components we have. So, what are the various components we have in the Selenium? First one was Selenium ID. So, what is the Selenium ID stands for Integrated Development Environment. So, it is just a plugin for the Chrome, Firefox, and Edge browsers. Right. ID is Integrated Development Environment. It is a plugin for Firefox, Chrome, and Edge browsers. So it is a, now how it is going to work means by it records it supports the record and playback mechanism. It supports the record and playback mechanism. That means recording means by here it is able to convert our actions or operations. It is able to convert our actions or operations which we perform on application into the automation test script. Into the automation test script. Playback means while script execution, your tool is able to perform the operation on your application it is. That is called playback we are going to call. Record and playback. Let me show how it is going to work. Now let us consider this is the application I have. Now login operation I want to automate. If I want to automate login operation, I need to develop the automation test script or not. but I don't want to write the script manually. I don't want to write the script manually. Then what I can do here, I'm going to use the Selenium IDE. That is the extension I have it is. Now I want to create a new project. Demo test. Okay. Click on OK. This is the one listed. Now see, I have some recording option here. So first it will go and ask that which application operator do you want to record. If I click on record button, so it is asking which application operations do you want to record. Then go for the start recording. Application open. Now I will go into the operation. I enter the value here, Mercury. Here also I'm going to enter the value Mercury. You observe the steps are generating here. Click on submit. Then I want to stop the record. This is stop. This is what, no need to write the script. By default, it is able to convert our actions or operations which we performed on AUT into the automation test script. Okay, now I'm going to run it. There is a run button. If I run it, it will open the application and perform the operations on your application. See that? Stop recording first. Test name login test. Now there is a run button. If I click on the run button, it's a very fast perform operation. I want to set some delay for our visibility purpose. If I run it is again. Okay, like this it is going to perform the operation. This is a record and playback we are going to call. So understand my here the vocabulary is important for us. Recording. Recording means converting our actions or operations which we performed on AUT into the converting our actions or operations which we performed on AUT into the automation test script is called recording. Playback means while script execution, when tool will perform the operations. Okay, while script execution, when tool will perform the operations on application, that is called playback we are going to call. But it is a plugin. We can install directly, we can't install into your system. Okay. So what we have to do here? Okay. But what is the limitation of this one? So script is not possible to parameter. That means I want to test the same login functionality by using test data from Excel sheet. Means I can't do it is. Passing data to the script during the runtime is not possible. It won't create the test results in the desired format. It won't create test results in desired format. The script is not repeatable. Understand? Script is not repeatable. So these are the limitations we have when you go for the segment. There is a reason in practical, Selenium ID is not used for a project level. In companies, we are not going to Selenium IDE. Then no need to learn about it. The Selenium RC. RC stands for remote control. Can execute test cases on different browsers, but it has a many disadvantages. So many disadvantages we have. The Selenium WebDriver, which is alternate of Selenium RC. So when they introduced Selenium WebDriver, then only WebDriver Selenium got more popular in the market. So before that, no, only 2-3% of companies are going to use Selenium. The Selenium Grid execute test cases in parallel. Execute test cases in parallel. What is the meaning of parallel execution? Suppose what I can do using the grid means whatever automation scripts I develop in my system I develop, then what I can do, I can connect the some other systems my here at a time. I can go for the execution of my test scripts on different machines. So from my system, I can connect the other systems. At a time, I can go for the different scripts in different browsers or different OS. I can go for the execution. Okay, this is what we are going to call parallel execution. Sir, what is the advantage if I go for like this kind of parallel execution? So time saves, right? So one after one I want execute, that is called sequence execution. But if I go for like this, time saves for me. The history of the Selenium. Selenium 1.2. It was introduced by Jason Huggins in 2004. That means it is not the new tool, right? It was introduced by Jason Huggins in 2004. So at that time, they introduced three components. What are the three components? Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium Grid. But here, the RC and the Grid one both are deprecated. Deprecated means not available. The Selenium 2.0. It was introduced in 2010. The component Selenium 2.0 are Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver or in simple WebDriver, Then we have the remote web driver or grid 2. These are the components are there. Then Selenium 3.0. So it was introduced 2016. Actually, the Selenium got the more popularity in the market from 2016 onwards only. Even though it was introduced in 2004, the companies have started using, major companies are starting using from Selenium 3.0. Right. So the stable version is 3.141.59. The present version is given 4.31.0, which is given recently. April 5th only this version is given. That means 5 days back only this version is given. So what is the official website means? Selenium.dev. Previously, the official website for the Selenium, seleniumhq.org. seleniumhq.org. Right. And this is the website we. This is the official website here. Only we have three common now Selenium WebDriver, which is important, which we are going to use in practical. Selenium ID is Selenium Grid. So we go for downloads. What are the languages supports? It's showing it is .NET, C Sharp. Recently, .NET also they are introducing it is Ruby, Java, Python, JavaScript. Okay. The previous releases, if I go this link here, different links are available. See, these are the different versions here. See, out of versions are there. 2014. This is the latest version which we have. April 5th, 2025 it is. Okay. Now advantages and disadvantages of the Selenium. Advantage pointer, it is a free tool, supports multiple programming languages to develop the automation test scripts, supports multiple browsers, supports multiple browsers, So can execute test cases in parallel. Even the commercial tools, we don't have this kind of feature, parallel execution. But here using Selenium, it is possible. There are advantages are there. Then what are the disadvantages here? It supports the only web-based applications. Programming skills are mandatory, not user-friendly. No official support is available. No official support is available. Right. Next thing. So it won't generate the reports by default. It won't support the Node.js. Okay, like this. Other technology it won't support. Now understand. So what is the Selenium? What are the components are there in the Selenium? So, but which component we are going to learn? Selenium WebDriver. This is the common present. We have Selenium WebDriver. That is what we are going to use. Whatever scripts we developed in Selenium WebDriver, that we can execute in parallel using the grid. In the grid, we are not going to write any program. It is right. Okay. So Selenium WebDriver. Now try to understand more. Introduction to the Selenium WebDriver, which we are going to learn. From here, actually, WebDriver concept we are going to learn. So 3.x or 4.x. Previously, we have the 3.x. Now we have the 4.x. Okay. So it was introduced in 2010. But main intention, why they introduced, because already Selenium RC is there. But why they introduced here? So WebDriver means there are a lot of challenges are there in the Selenium RC. The scripts are not executing properly. Those scripts are not executing properly. To overcome that, where they introduced this WebDriver. Okay. So next thing, see WebDriver doesn't require so RC server, proxy server, which are used in Selenium RC, which are required. Now JavaScript injections completely removed in WebDriver. Okay. Now these 2 points, don't worry about it because RC. Now WebDriver able to see it is also support the different browsers, different operating systems. But how WebDriver is going to work? WebDriver able to communicate to the browser with a browser understandable language. Browser native code we are going to call. You can develop any one of the languages here to develop the automation test script, but at the time of execution, it is able to interpret automation test script into the browser native code. Native code means which technology they use to develop the browser into that language is able to communicate. That is, suppose if I go for the IE browser or Edge browser, which are developed using C sharp, whereas Firefox browser developed using Java. Using WebDriver, we can also automate mobile applications. We can also automate mobile applications. But we have to go for the AppM tool. We have to use here also. App is a separate tool. With the combination of this only, we can able to automate some mobile applications. The second thing, so important thing, WebDriver doesn't have any user interface. That means there is no pages or no screens for the WebDriver. It is only a library. So it is some executable jar files are given with the classes and methods and properties in order to automate the browsers. So WebDriver doesn't have any screens. Directly we can't interact with the WebDriver. It is an API. API means application programming interface, which has set of classes, methods, and properties to communicate browsers. WebDriver provides interface, the connection between your automation scripts to the your application. It means application under test during runtime. During runtime. Okay. So now you want to work with the WebDriver. We need basic three things more. One is JDK 21 or above version, the Java development kit with which have the library of JDK plus JRE. JDK plus JRE. Second one, Eclipse ID. Eclipse is an editor which is used to develop Java program. It is an editor used to develop the so see my Eclipse Java program generally they are going to write here. But here we are going to also this editor to develop the automation test script. But whenever you want to develop the automation test script, so we need to configure WebDriver library. WebDriver library. Then WebDriver jars. Jars means Java archive. It is also a library which contains a set of classes, methods and properties to communicate browser. It is also a library which contains a set of classes, methods and properties to communicate browser. Okay. Now, this is one thing you have to remember. Interview point. What is WebDriver? It is an API. That means library. Application pointer, which contains set of classes, methods, and properties to communicate browser. To communicate browser. Now, Sima here. You want to set up the Selenium environment in your computer. We need to download the three things here. I given the links here to download. So you can go for Selenium download links I given here. For JDK Java to install, we have to download the JDK. That's the URL I given. Eclipse to install, I given the Eclipse URL I given. These notes I will share. But before coming to the class, you have to download these things more. I will go to explain to you how to set up the Selenium environment in our system. I will share this thing. Try to so download these things before in the class. You want to know more time it's going to take. First, you have to download these things. In the class, I will explain how to set up the Selenium environment. So Monday I will take the class. No, Monday I will go to experiment this. No session tomorrow. Okay.